Data handling. Histograms. When an ungrouped data is given, we have learned to draw a bar graph. Here we have a grouped frequency distribution table for marks obtained by the students in an exam. So when a group data is given, how to represent it in the form of graph? We use one more type of graph called histogram. Histogram is a bar graph that represents a group frequency distribution. In a histogram, width of the bar represents the interval and height represents the corresponding frequency. Here is the histogram for the above group data. You can see in the graph that width of the bar represents the class interval, which gives marks obtained by the students in the exam. Also, observe that there is no gap between the bars, as there is no gap between the class intervals, and the bars are of equal width like in the bar graphs. Here we have another histogram which represents the height of the girls of 7th standard of a school. In this histogram, the width of the bar represents the class interval, which gives height of the girls in centimeters. And height of the graph represents the corresponding frequency, that is nothing but the number of girls in the 7th class. Can you see a jagged line in the graph between 0 and 125? Jagged line or broken line has been used along the horizontal line to indicate that we are not showing the numbers between 0 and 125. Let me ask some questions on this histogram. Which group of the graph contains maximum girls? The interval 140 to 145 contains maximum girls. How many girls have height of 145 centimeters and more? Yes, 7 girls. Let us take one more histogram which represents the number of hours for which students of a particular class watch television during their holidays. Now tell me, how many students watch TV for less than 4 hours by looking at this histogram? 34 students watch TV for less than 4 hours. Now tell me, how many students spend more than 5 hours watching TV? Yes, if we observe the graph carefully, we can see that 14 students spent more than 5 hours watching TV. Now tell me, for how many hours did the maximum number of students watch TV? Look at the graph. The maximum number of students watch TV for 4 to 5 hours. Summary. Group data can be presented using histogram. Histogram is a type of bar diagram where the class intervals are shown on the horizontal axis and the heights of the bars show the frequency of the class interval. There is no gap between the bars as there is no gap between the class intervals of the histogram.